Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Abby and Odin here today. You're so cute. So cute. We are back with another video. Last two of our things I can't control list. Today we are going to be talking about how open-minded you are. So, being open-minded is important because if you are the kind of person that is like, my way is the highway all the time, and like, I know everything, I've learned everything there is to know, there was never going to be any like epiphany to any walls that you may hit. And a lot of people have the mistake of not knowing. They make the mistake of not knowing they have hit a wall in life, or they kind of stay stagnant in the same place and the same problems and stuff, and they don't really understand that there is more to life than that. So when you kind of stay closed off to the world and like new information, and believe that you're right all the time and there's nothing more for you to learn, you're kind of closing yourself off to more freedom, blessings, and just like good vibes. So it's really good for you to exercise, leaving your comfort zone in every way, including mentally. Mentally being open and changing your comfort is really good, because you will therefore meet more people with different situations and things that you never thought that you would try to understand before. You will meet new friends, you will get new information that may help you, and you may not have gotten that information or help if you were closed off to the thought of maybe there's another way to receive what I'm trying to receive. It also is very prevalent in manifesting, because if you believe that the only way to get what you want is with what you know and how you know it, it is not going to get you very far, because there are so many ways that the universe delivers your blessings to you. So if you're just closed off to your way and not very open to any other, closed off to everyone else's way, or even just information trying to reach you, because the universe sends you different portals and messengers when it is sending you information. And if you're just like closed off to that, and you believe everyone else's information is dangerous or it's not true, and you know everything and you don't need any help, it's keeping you closed off from receiving so many things. Important one, to be open-minded so you can learn, grow, and accept and receive your blessings from the universe and problem solve quickly. So many good reasons to stay open-minded. I just had a mind blank. Oh, so there is the term called do not knock it till you try it. Well, being open-minded is kind of like that, but you don't necessarily need to try everything. But being open-minded to the different things in the world and the things that you could try, or just listening. Open-minded is really about listening and being open to possibilities. So when you listen and you're willing to learn and you're open to possibilities, even if something surfaced that you're not exactly game with or you don't really agree with, it's okay. You're still, being open-minded is still going to bring you things that you do not agree with, that you get to decide if that you get to decide whether it's false or not. And you're really, the great thing about being open-minded is you really are in control of what do you do with that. You could learn something and it's not really relating to you, and you could just let it go. It doesn't matter, but at least you know now. So really with being open-minded, it's being open to information and experiences, being able to know what your boundaries are when you receive those things, and know if it's like relevant to you or not, and being able to just like sift through it quickly. It is going to make your life more exciting. I think that, you know, when I was going through certain obstacles and I wanted a different life, I actually had no idea that I was going to get that life the way that I did. It was kind of like me being open to possibilities. And obviously, I've said in another video, if I were to go back and do it again, I definitely would regard my safety a little bit more than I did. I didn't really realize with some of the things that I was being open to, it could have not been super safe. But, you know, that's the only thing I would change going back, is like, I'd be more cautious. I was cautious, but I think now, looking back, I think that there's things that I would have done and been a little bit more safe about. The reason I ended up where I ended up and in the state that I did, with the knowledge that I have and the the high intense curiosity to learn and grow more is by remaining open-minded. I'm the first person to be critical about what I'm hearing and decide for myself if it's something that I'm going to use. I don't accept everything. I don't agree with everything, but I'm still open-minded, because for some people, the things that you deny in your reality are someone else's reality. So just learning and being able to be open and be a sponge and soak up all those experiences and information. You even help other people by just knowing those things. That's what I have to say about like why it's important to be open-minded and work on that. Now, these are some things that I've done to work on being open-minded, just to help you take control of that aspect of your mind and use it to your advantage. A thing that I do to remain open-minded is through your self-talk, come to the conclusion within yourself that you do not know everything and how exciting and great it is to learn things. Finding that inner child student in you and finding that excitement within learning and being curious and asking questions, that is like one of the first things I've exercised in remaining open-minded. The thing that I do and exercise being open-minded is just getting out of my comfort zone, and that could be in the physical realm. In my last video, I talked about how in order to like sort through your thoughts and have self-discipline within your own mind and thoughts, it's like good to do a physical exercise of going somewhere to go shopping, but instead of buying anything, you just go and you look and you leave with nothing. You just let it all go. So it's kind of similar in this situation. You get out of your comfort zone in your physical reality and be open to learning and communicating with people and just open to receiving new experiences. When somebody is telling you about their story, instead of finding yourself judging them, maybe ask questions and get to know their story, what makes them the way they are, their opinions on things, instead of just shutting down and believing that your way is the highway and you're right, and if someone's doing something you don't like, being like, oh my God, like, I think trying to find understanding and experiences and people is a huge way to remain open-minded and grow your knowledge on life, just to figure out what you do and don't like, because the law of attraction is very real. It's important to me. And you know, that resistance that you have for the things that you really want, it's because you're focusing on what you don't like. So I think it's very important to have contrast and to experience the unknown. And even if you experience contrast, like the things you don't like, I think that's a blessing in disguise, because at the end of the day, knowing what you don't like and what you don't agree with and what is not for you is just as important as knowing what you do like. Because now that you know that you don't agree or don't like something, or something's not for you, you could just move on and not focus on that. You don't need to dive into that anymore. You know that it's something that's not for you. So I think it's really important to remain open-minded, even through things that you may be a little iffy about, because at the end of the day, once you know that you're not about something, you could just, not to pay attention to it. You know what I mean? So instead of not knowing and wondering, you know and you move on. I think it's really important for a law of attraction, manifesting, what you want to attract to experience and be open-minded. You don't know who you're going to meet in the future. Being well-versed and educated on many walks of life and just knowing different people's perspectives and remaining curious, it's going to help you in the long run. Just when you meet certain people and you are in certain situations in the future, I just think knowing and understanding and being able to empathize with people's experiences, even if they're not yours, that comes in handy when you are connecting with people, making connections, because not everyone, especially if you're into business or you're in school or the future, everyone has a job, everyone needs a job. We're going to socialize for the rest of our lives. Everyone has interests. You're going to find people that have the same interests with you, but not everyone that you're going to make connections with and have interest in is going to do and agree with the same things that you agree with. So it's always good to be open-minded and practice that, so you can learn how to accept people for who they are more and know what you will and will not tolerate from people. But also, when you do make connections that you can't exactly run away from, you have more of an understanding of that person and you know how to not treat them differently. And you know how to reside harmoniously with different people from different walks of life while remaining your true self. There's just so many great reasons and ways to practice open-mindedness. It could be through meditation, just, like I said, getting out of your physical comfort zone, talking to new people, reading books you normally wouldn't read, asking people that are well educated in topics that make you feel a little uncomfortable. Go and study topics and things that make you feel uncomfortable a little bit, and maybe try to understand why those things make you feel uncomfortable. If it still makes you feel uncomfortable because it's like you figure out why, and you're reading about it and you're like, okay, I know why this makes me feel uncomfortable now, it just doesn't resonate with me, then you're like, okay, I dove into that, I had a mental experience with that, and I know it's still not for me, so maybe I could just let it go. And that kind of releases some discomfort you might have had thinking about that before, because now you know more about it. You can explain to anybody that you come into contact with that is in that situation. You understand how to communicate why and stand your boundaries a little stronger, because for me, it's certainly important for me in a lot of situations to know why. So I know that like a lot of times I was making a major decision in life, I had to know why I was making it. Or if something wasn't good for me, I had to know why. If something was good for me, I had to know why. Why is a huge thing. So it's like, I think being open-minded is just asking why and understanding why. And knowing that kind of helps you guide yourself and other people in life. Another good way to practice it is just to get to know yourself. And like I said in my last video, like we'll think about things that make us feel uncomfortable all the time. We have so many random thoughts. And I think just trying to be open-minded is being open-minded towards yourself. Like being willing to dive into those parts of yourself that make you feel uncomfortable, not trying to run away from it. So if you're afraid to be alone and you run away from your feelings, another part of open-mindedness, just the whole point of practicing it, is to get out of your comfort zone. So when it comes to yourself and your own personal problems and preferences, you're not afraid of yourself. When you're afraid of yourself and you're afraid of your feelings, emotions, and problems, it's almost like you're resisting them and you're in denial that you have them. And I think being open-minded is another key component in accepting and understanding those parts of ourselves and not being afraid to embrace them and really get to the root of the issue, or the root of the source. It doesn't have to be an issue. Not everything's an issue, but just understanding yourself takes a lot of open-mindedness, because sometimes the way that we were taught to understand ourselves is so structured. It's almost too structured, and we almost force ourselves to fit ourselves somewhere that we were taught to fit ourselves into, instead of just being open-minded enough to say, maybe I don't fit any of these standards. Maybe everything that I was taught isn't me, and maybe me at the core, none of this is who I am. I just kind of conformed with this, and the bravery to like kind of get into that, get into self and discover, okay, I don't fit these boxes. And I was kind of making myself because I was afraid to be different. But now that I know that I'm different and I have the open-mindedness and bravery to ask why and just really get to know myself, it takes open-mindedness, and it really helps you find your purpose, the people you belong around, and it saves you a lot of time. I would say being open-minded, as much as you think being closed off to everyone and everything and being closed-minded saves you time, it actually doesn't. Because at the end of the day, when you resist being open-minded, you're going to have to learn some things at some point in order to get to one or the other place, if that makes sense. So it's like being open-minded is just being open and receptive to anything that you need to learn to get to a certain point of understanding and awareness. And I think that it saves you a lot of time, because when you're open-minded and you really want to get to know yourself and you're open-minded towards yourself, you learn what's not for you and what's for you a lot faster, and you waste a lot less of people's time being in the wrong places with the wrong people. You know what I mean? So being open-minded does not mean at all sacrificing your boundaries to make other people comfortable. Because I know that some people use being open-minded to like peer pressure people into doing things they're not comfortable with. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying you consensually and willingly opening yourself up to new experiences and people and situations that you are comfortable with, or maybe you're uncomfortable, but you know you're safe, you know you're okay with it, you just want to get out of your comfort zone. You are allowed to leave and stay in your comfort zone whenever you want. I'm just suggesting, with being open-minded, doing it in a healthy way that feels like a learning experience to you. Not letting someone else decide what being open-minded is for you and when you should leave your comfort zone and be open-minded. Like, that is all up to you. And that's what most of this channel is about, is really taking accountability and doing these things for yourself. Like, not being on anyone else's time, and discovering when these things that I'm teaching you is going to be the most useful and healthy for you to do. And you get to, the beauty and the magic of all of it is you get to decide when you're ready for what. So don't ever put yourself on someone else's clock. If you want to be open-minded with this but not with that, that is okay. Like, you are on your own growing clock. So this is just something that I had done when I was going through some things, and I got to the point where I actually had to write down like things that coaches teach you and keep them on my wall to read every day, because I needed to change. It was urgent for me to change, to get out of the situation I was in. So I picked all these things to do for myself by choice, because it felt right for me at the time. And it actually, when I started doing it, I saw proof that it was helping me in the areas that it was. So yeah, I suggest listening to your intuition. If something sounds exciting for you and you're like, okay, I'm ready to change my life in this area, I think these things can help, you get to prescribe yourself whatever dose you want of all these things and decide when and where to practice them. And that is the awesome thing about it. So thank you guys for watching my video. We only have one more and we're done with this series, and then we can get into a whole new series, and I'm so excited for that. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you made it to the end of the video, comment the word goldfish at the end, or at the end of this video right now. If you stayed this long, comment the word goldfish in the comments so I know you made it through the whole video, because I will comment back and show you some love. I appreciate everyone and anyone who has made it to the end of the video. That really helps me out a lot, and I'm really excited and grateful that you were interested enough to invest your time into this video and me, and stay till the end. So thank you so much. I love you. Bye.